Yeah,
oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It takes all out. But it's so much nicer. You don't have to. Yeah. Yeah, the kids. Yeah. I mean, I'm for that. They just don't want it to be look like we left the different people that can misunderstand. Now we're talking about it. But you know, we can leave the dark because I know you.
Hi Daniel. How you doing?
Very good. And you?
Good to see you.
Yes. Then you come to the camera and
It's always good to see you.
yeah, that one.
Oh yeah. Good.
Yeah, it's great. It's what we need.
And she gonna talk, right? She gonna do a general talk.
Yeah.
But right now she's doing individual. That's why I wanted when she.
I think she's going to do a. Yeah, I know she's to do a presentation.
Okay. Because I can't hear if she's gonna do that.
No, you're right.
I'm like, what's she saying?
Well, if she remembers to be in the classroom, you'll hear her.
Oh yeah.
Hi Daniel.
How are you?
I'm good. Good. How are you?
I saw you getting out the car and I was like, I lost Kevin. Good to see you. Thanks for putting up with
My
us.
pleasure. Keep sending it. We'll get it up there. Let me turn this off. Okay. I can take one. I just can't take the other.
Everyone, let's gather around.
Come on, everyone.
Let's gather around. Gather around over here. Joanne's gonna talk. Neighborhood, everyone gather around.
Over here.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Do you want to talk for Claretian and then NeighborSpace and all? No, that's a good job. Let me go get Eric.
Look, your barbershop too.
All right, hello everyone. Hi. Welcome to today. Is everyone? Most of you are paying attention. All right, so today we're just having like a play street and a pop-up shop for a park space. I do want to thank all the key partners that came along. I'm Jasmine Gunn first. I'm from Claretian Associates. We're a community organization that focuses on affordable housing and other safety and quality of life programs in the community. So today we're partnering with, we're part of a group called Calumet Connect. We're pretty much trying to make improvements along the Calumet River, which is just a short distance away. We're trying to make different improvements to the community. As a part of that, we're trying to have a natural play space here. So your input today is very important. We're going to have a NeighborSpace tell us more about that shortly. I do want to thank the Alliance for the Great Lakes, SkyArt for coming out doing the great art over here, Bienenstock and Wildlife Habitat Council, and the alderwoman. She left now, but she also came to show us support today. We're going to pass it to Eric so he can tell
Thank you. Hey everyone, thank you for coming out. My name is Eric Hernandez. I'm the stewardship coordinator with NeighborSpace. A little bit about NeighborSpace. We are the only urban land trust that preserves and sustains community gardens throughout the city of Chicago. We have about 118 sites all over the city. I was talking with my good friend here that in the 2.5, 3 years that I've been working with NeighborSpace, I've probably seen more of my city since I have, the entire time that I've been living here. I am a Chicago native, born and raised, so I'm really excited to, help and support the site here. We're excited about creating another nature play space. If you aren't familiar with what that means, this is a good example. So definitely get your hands dirty and muddy. Thank you all for contributing your input on the boards here. This is kind of a continuation of a garden that's actually not too far from here called South Chicago's People's Park. So if you have not been, I definitely recommend that you stop by and hang out. It's a really magical space. And we hope to continue to build off of that and extend it here with the Calumet Connect project. I do definitely want to give a huge thanks to all of the different organizations, including Claretian's, our community organization partner, for really kind of pushing the boundaries of what spaces can be used for, and really asking the question and imagining, spaces like this to be built. So that's a little bit about me. I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Charlie, and we'll talk a little bit more about future events as well. Yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm Charlie Corwin with the Alliance for the Great Lakes. I do want to point out also that Derek Clemens, a community artist, was here earlier. He put up 2 of his pieces. Unfortunately, we can't keep them up too long, but they're going to be here for the weekend. So please, if you can, check those out. If you cross the street, please be careful in crossing the street. There's crosswalks on the other side to get over to that artwork over there. And you can also, there's a fence up over by the riverside, so feel free to go over to the riverside when you get a chance. I know it's hot over there, so we're all under the tree. But that's a cool opportunity to go check out the river. So I did want to plug Derek and Southworks Art Group. I also want to thank Friends of the Parks, and Steve Weaver from Chicago Public Arts Group is here. A lot of partners came together for this. This is awesome. Thank you everyone, and thank you all from the community for coming out. I do want to introduce, I'm so happy to have Joanne Podko-Murphy here, a community historian, neighborhood historian, who's going to talk more about this area that we're in, Southeast Chicago, and some of the neighborhoods that make up Southeast Chicago, and some of its industrial and art and culture history. So without much more, here's Joanne Podko-Murphy.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. Okay, I wanted to take a minute to acknowledge Nicole because she's just provided a kind of a great introduction using these posters of what she remembers of what South Chicago was like. And there's much that's still here that we can build on. So you take a look at this and get an idea. Some of these go back to the early 1900s, a long time ago. So this will be up for a while. Meanwhile, put together a presentation about the river. And what's remarkable about it is that there are, lots of changes that have happened, but the river persists. The lake was the gift of the glacier, and the streams, various streams and rivers that flow into it have made quite a difference in our lives. The Calumet River itself actually starts in 2 different places in Indiana, about 50 miles from here, and they kind of wend their way and meander and meet at about 130th Street, and then they become the Calumet River that we know that comes through here. From what we've been able to tell from earlier history, it was not a very deep river, and I think even today it may be listed as only a stream rather than a river. What's significant in regards to this is that to begin with, it was probably so shallow that you could actually wade across it. There was no bridge, but like, what choice did you have? Until the ferry came in. The ferry, I think, started as a raft, and later it became a little bit better. So those were the ways that you could get across the river. Now you don't have to worry about it. But one thing that seems to be a little strange, you can cross the river at several bridges. But do you see a sign that tells you we're crossing the Calumet River? No, we gotta work on that. So that people would get more of an idea in regard to what's going on there. Okay, in regard to human habitation in this area, if you cross the bridge and look over at what has been Sims Metal Scrapyard, that had been early on a graveyard for Native Americans and for some early settlers in this area. But there are no markers. There are no grave markers, except for one, for a gentleman who used to cast his boat, fishing boat off from that area. Andreas von Zerngibel. That's a whole other story. I don't go into that, except know that he died in 1855, and the grave and the markings is in there, thanks to a lot of cooperation from residents and some of the people with the Historical Society. The main thing in regards to the river, once it was dredged by a business, the Chicago and Calumet Canal and Dock Company. Believe me, I worked real hard to get those words straight. Okay, the president was James Harvey Bowen. So if I asked all the Bowen grads to put their hands up, you would see that he was acknowledged in this community after his death in 1881. But he was a gentleman who said we should dredge this because there was a sandbar that made it difficult for ships to come in. So it was dredged, and industry did come in. There had been a little bit before that, but not much. So what were the industries? Well, steel mills, and the first one did not start here. It started upriver, Brown Mill, I think, 1875. Then Carnegie, Illinois, which started here, then U.S. So what happened is the river, because it provided transportation for both the raw materials and the finished products, was extremely important in the development of industry here. There were also grain elevators. Sometimes they caught fire, which was really not too pleasant to the community. They were mostly manufactured. You still see a couple there. But there were many more. So that led General Mills to have a business here also. There were many other industries, shipbuilding, other things like that. So the river provided the industrial impact for what would become South Chicago. And there are still historic remnants here. So if you look around, especially 91st Street, you'll see buildings that workers lived in. They're not your typical suburban type. They're 2 flats, they're 3 flats, they're boarding houses, but they're still there, which is remarkable. So you have, in a sense, a kind of a living museum for the people who lived and worked here. Also, a little bit about the mill. Are we hearing any sounds interfering with the presentations today?
Road noise.
Not much, right? Oh, our expert, Norman Long, he'll be into it. Okay, if the mill at its time was still working, it would hear me. It was like a fire-breathing dragon, enormous, hot, dirty, and its tail would clang against the metal cage. And you would hear that all the time. But in spite of that, there were people who actually lived like right across the street from the mill. So I don't see too many older people here who might remember that, but I certainly do, and I can still kind of hear it. So the mill had good things that it brought. It had some other things, and eventually, of course, it left after more than 100 years, which is phenomenal. Okay, so back to the idea of a living museum. So we still have the evidence of places where people live. We have the evidence along Commercial Avenue of all the retail, the banks, the churches, fantastic buildings. We don't celebrate them, as we should, but maybe we need to work on that. I don't know if there's another place that's left that's still like this. I understand that in Pittsburgh they don't have much. They have something left of a mill that they turned into kind of an art center. But I don't know if they have working type houses. So one of the most phenomenal structures that we still have, of course, are the ore walls. So that is well. Okay. So that's generally what's been happening. The river persists, despite the fact that industry has come and gone, various kinds of industries. The river is still there, and we're getting tremendous help today from all of these organizations, social associates, everybody here. Okay, Friends of the Parks, we've known for a long time. Dana, where are you? Wildlife Habitat Council. Okay, the new one. Bienenstock, thank you. Okay, SkyArt. So for all these people to be coming together to see what they can do, and this is fantastic. I'm waiting for years for this space to become something. That will be painted. Good. Okay. All right. So that will be a marvelous thing too. So the connection I'd like to make right now for the Calumet Connect is, despite all these changes that we've had, the river persists, and yet so do we. So that's it. And thank you for making it happen.